Does seem like there was much more drama around the approval process in the NFL for new owners than there was in the NBA. But just a couple of days after the NFL league meeting approved the new owners for the Commanders, the NBA's Board of Governors approved the sale of the Charlotte Hornets to a group led by Rick Schnall and Gabe Plotkin, clearing the way to end Michael Jordan's 13-year run as majority owner, sources told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski on Sunday. Michael Jordan is selling the Charlotte Hornets, and it's official. And it is fair to say that Michael Jordan was not a good owner. Right, it's fair to say, like sometimes I think because of the wars and the war of words and the war of posts and the war of like 2-minute videos of highlights on social media and the war where the weapons are mostly people with no profile picture and 17 numbers at the end of their name on Twitter or X, whatever they've renamed Twitter as of today. Michael Jordan doesn't need to be defended in absolutely everything he does to still be considered the GOAT basketball player. Right? Sometimes I think because Michael Jordan was such a good basketball player and he made some really, really good business decisions when it comes to Nike and a few other things that you can't say he's not great, not the best at anything, and the world comes crumbling down, right? It's like if you said Michael Jordan wasn't great on the grill, right? He toughens up his steaks a little too much. The world would come at you like, oh, yeah? Well, LeBron has never grilled. And I'm going like, whoa. Have you seen his seafood? The guy can use indirect heat on some salmon like nobody's business. We'll have LeBron do that. And I'm going like, oh, no. This has nothing to do with his ability as a basketball player. I will, and it's partially because of the era I grew up in, the people whose opinions I trust, and the fact that I've some of my earliest sports memories are watching Michael Jordan play basketball. I will forever hold Michael Jordan as the GOAT. I can also logically say, not a good owner. Not a good owner. You've heard the stats during his 13 years as an NBA owner. We're talking never won a playoff series, never finished higher than 6th in the East, 5th worst winning percentage in the entire NBA, and kind of the whole goal of being an owner in the NBA is to win. However, I'm going to flip this around. We're just going to get on like a not a Ferris wheel, a carousel, right? We're just going to keep turning this conversation around, right? So, still the GOAT in basketball. Turn it around, not a good owner, right? And we can talk about all of the ways that both of those are true. Matter of fact, they're some of the more fun conversations to have. That's why so many darn people like arguing about MJ versus LeBron, because it's kind of fun. You can argue about whether Michael Jordan was a good and bad owner. It's kind of fun. I think it's pretty obvious he was not a good owner, which is why we're bringing it up on this kind of day where it becomes official. But also, it's unfair to say nothing good happened, right? Just because they didn't win a playoff series, it's unfair to say nothing good happened. We're about to see this with the Commanders, by the way. And let me go ahead and bring this up. The Bet Online, okay, put out odds of what the Commanders' name will be next year. And the overwhelming favorite is that it will be a different name. Okay, so it's minus 400 that the Commanders won't be the Commanders next year, which is significant. The names listed as the favorites. The Spartans are the betting favorite. The football team or football club is the second betting favorite. The Red Hogs is the third betting favorite. The Magic or the Magicians is the fourth betting favorite. The Armada, the Presidents, the Ambassadors, the Brigade. I don't even know how they would do this. The DCs. So they would be the Washington DCs. That seems confusing, to say the very least. The Defenders, the Red Tails, the Senators, all of these names are in the mix. We are about to see how hard it is to choose a new name for a beloved franchise. Michael Jordan made the perfect name change. I've never seen someone stick the landing on a name change better than when they went from the Bobcats back to the Hornets. Because, A, the Hornets are the Hornets. Even when they were the Bobcats, they were the Hornets. Even when the Hornets were in New Orleans, Charlotte was the Hornets. And Michael Jordan was smart enough to recognize that and say, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. Right? The Bobcats were only the Bobcats, and I don't know if this justification or this reasoning is 100% true, but it's definitely internet lore. Bob Johnson was the previous owner, and he wanted the Bobcats because his first name was Bob. Michael Jordan could have done something that vain, right? He could have done the Charlotte Airwalkers. He could have done the Charlotte and Jumpmen. He could have done anything.
Charlotte Flight.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. Actually he could have pretended like he was saying it because of Orville and Wilbur and First in Flight and all that.
But also could have branded it for Air Jordan.
But exactly. He would have been doing it because it's Air Jordan and Flight is,
his jet.
His silhouette and everything else. But instead, he recognized that the Hornets' first game was in 1988 and they were named the Charlotte Hornets. Right? He knew some of the players, right? Larry Johnson was in Space Jam, right? He was a Hornet. Kendall Gill, Alonzo Mourning, Glenn Rice, Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, huh? Right, with those videos of Del Curry shooting around and little Stephs in the background, those were Hornets videos. Not to mention more recent stars, not to mention guys like Baron Davis that became like cult heroes. They didn't play for the Bobcats. Michael Jordan recognized that and he said, boom, let's go back. Genius move. Genius move, okay? So that's actually one of the harder things you can do as an owner. To make a name change and have everybody just go, yep, I agree, good one, and move forward. In an era where when any name is changed or any new team is picked, there's like a mandatory 5-year, we hate that idea. That didn't happen. He also objectively made a boatload of money. Right? The whole Michael Jordan, the businessman thing took a very, very big step up with his ownership of the Hornets. He bought his controlling interest for $180 million and will bring back more than $2 billion in profit from the sale. That's what we call return on investment. For all of the cool stuff he did with Nike, and they literally just put out a movie on how bananas intelligent his decision-making and his parents' decision-making, specifically his mother's decision-making, when negotiating a shoe deal. They made a whole movie about how smart that business deal was. I think it's an Amazon Prime movie. You can go check it out. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck star. For all of the cool, and he's bringing in, 10 figures? 7, 8, 9 figures a year, something like that, in Nike money. He's made more money from owning the Hornets than he did from his Nike deal, which is crazy to think of. So he's now made 2 separate deals that have made him at least $1 billion. It's pretty good. I mean, if you get one of those in your life, you're like the richest person anyone in your life's ever met. He's done it twice. So, yes, it's not all bad. It's not all dumb for Michael Jordan now that the NBA's Board of Governors have approved the sale and he is officially, if not already, it's inevitably happening very, very shortly, not the owner of the Hornets. He's, I believe, still keeping a minority stake in the Hornets, but he's not the majority owner, which is the one that really matters. It wasn't all bad. He was a bad owner, but it wasn't all bad. Kemba Walker was a nice draft pick. He's now playing overseas. AC Monaco. We talked about it on Friday. There's a couple nice pieces mixed in there, but there's a lot of Frank Kaminsky's. There's a lot of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's mixed in there. There's a lot of things that didn't go well, and that's what led to the losing. Michael Jordan, go basketball player. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to criticize him for other public-facing things that he's done. I live kind of, for the most part, by the belief that someone's private life should remain private, right? So whatever, he's got going on in relationships and stuff, I try not to dabble too far into that. But when you're the owner of an entertainment company, which is what professional sports teams are, that criticism is fair game. Never won a playoff series. Never. If you want to make jokes about that, feel free. If you want to make jokes about things like as a player or owner, he never won a playoff series without Scottie Pippen, make those jokes, feel free. I also kind of wish he would have taken 1 year, right, if he's going to sell just 1 year and been like, our vice president of basketball operations is going to be Scottie Pippen. And then if they won the championship the next year, I'd go, all right, it is Scottie. Maybe it's been Scottie all along.
That finally sells his debate.
I don't think it does.
Honestly, it doesn't.
Oh, if that happened, it would.
Yeah,
Yes,
if that
happened, it would. Absolutely. If that happened, it definitely would.
Not only is he the better basketball player, but look, the better owner as well.
He just no, to me what that would prove is to use a modern basketball example. I say that Draymond Green is like even at his best, I never thought he was like a top 30 player in the league.
Okay.
But I do think he is some kind of multiplier for Steph and Clay.
Yeah.
Like Steph is a top 10 player in the league, but when him and Dre are vibing, he's the best player in the league. So you need to pay Draymond whatever you need to get that otherworldly Steph level up. And the same with Clay, right? Like Clay is in the conversation among the best two guards, but when Dre is like unlocking whatever top level Klay Thompson has, then he's like, oh, he might be one of the best, like literally one of the best two guards in the league. To me, that would solidify Scottie Pippen as like that for MJ. Like MJ is the best player in the league, but with Scottie Pippen, he's the best player to ever live. He's a good owner, he's a bad owner, but you put Scottie Pippen around, all of a sudden he's like, it just means he's, I don't want to say a good luck charm because that's disrespecting Scottie Pippen. It's just like they're it's like a multiplier, like, right? It's like it's like a cartoon where, right, you're good by yourself, but you put like your decoder rings together and now one of you becomes super duper. It's like it's a helper thing.
The Infinity Stones.
There you go.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Marvel.
Neither am I.
Yeah,
said there you go really confidently as if I was like, absolutely. That's a perfect analogy. Yeah. I mean, I've seen the movies, but there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, I'm sorry, what happened now?
Yeah.
And I can't keep up with all the television shows. It's just too much time commitment for someone with a 2-year-old at home. My television is on cartoons.